before we get started, I need you to know that you're capable of speaking louder and being heard, even if you have a quiet voice, a soft-spoken voice, any of that. Let me explain something to you. Your voice is like a power tool, and every power tool has to have a source of power behind it, and if it doesn't, it's not gonna work, or it'll just sit there, or if you try to use it, it could break, or it could go wrong, and I don't want that to happen to you. But I tell you that to tell you this. The power behind the voice is the breath. Without the breath, you cannot speak at all, and you would just sit there and be like, yeah. Or even worse, because without breath, you don't have life. And the same thing goes for your words too. Because if your breath brings your words to life, what happens when you lose that breath? Or if it's not coming out correctly, your voice wouldn't be as strong as it possibly could. You see where I'm going with this? All right, so the first hack to be heard without screaming, I like to call it inhale cap. And the reason I call it inhale cap is because that's what you're going to be doing. So in order to do this, all you have to do is inhale for a second, hold it for a second, exhale for a second. Okay, easy enough? All right, so now I want you to repeat that, but when you inhale and hold it, don't exhale. Open your mouth and say pow. And tell me if you sound louder after you did that. Because doing this, what it does is it opens up the back of your throat so all of the sound can come out completely and it's not blocked by the soft palate. And it's also raising the soft palate at the same time, stopping the air from going through your nose and coming fully out of your mouth. That way, all of your voice can come out and not just some of it, not just a little bit of it, but all of it. The next hack to be heard without yelling is the 4-finger thrust. That may sound kind of weird and kind of creepy, but let me show you what I mean. All right, so for this, all you have to do is get 4 fingers and put it slightly below your rib cage, hum, and then press it 4 times. So it'd be like this. And once you press it down 4 times, say something. And tell me if you sound louder by any chance. And if you do, let me tell you what happened. Once you begin to press down on that, don't press it too hard when you do it though. When you press down on that, what that does is forces your diaphragm to make more air come out. And if you have more air with your voice, it's gonna be louder. Versus not using your diaphragm completely, because your diaphragm's the muscle that's responsible for breathing like a ventilator. It gets your air up and out. And the next hack to speak louder is called power humming. And the reason why it's called power humming is, well, if you get the hum and put a good bit of power behind it, but normal humming is when you talk without your mouth, like this. But with power humming, you can take this and amplify it to the next level. And by that, I mean, when you power hum, you hum normally, but you hum it just a bit higher, pushing it a bit further. And what that does is get you used to talking louder, because humming is just talking without moving your mouth. That's all it is. So once you hum harder and you hum louder, don't hum until it hurts real badly. If it gets to that point, stop, take a break. But doing that will definitely help you to get used to using your voice on a louder level without having to actually yell at people, on top of using the soft palate and everything else to go with it. That way you can speak louder without having to put as much effort into it, and next thing you know, you're as loud as you need to be when you need to be. Hey, if you're liking this video and you feel louder, go ahead and click the like button so other people can hear it and they can feel louder too. The next hack to be loud without yelling is the nose nod. That might sound kind of weird, but hear me out. I'm gonna explain what it is. The nose nod is when you hold your nose, nod 5 times, and then breathe out. And what that does is it helps you to breathe completely and unclog your nasal passages, because sometimes it can get junked up in there and it's harder to breathe. And the harder it is to breathe, the harder it is to talk louder. And the way you do this is by hold your nose like this, nod 5 times like this, and then breathe out. And once you breathe out, you'll feel the full effect of all of that air coming out, and combine this with the other ones you've done, and guess what? You're gonna speak louder, easier, no problem at all. But also with this, if you're not able to nod 5 times, try nodding 2 or 3 times and work your way up to 5, but it's there to help you to clear your nasal passages and get all the air out. And the next hack we got is diaphragmatic breathing. I'm sure you know what the diaphragm is. It's that muscle I explained earlier that's responsible for you breathing completely in and out all the way. Yeah, you gotta learn how to use that to breathe. So with your diaphragm, let me break it down a little bit more. It's the muscle responsible for you breathing. And what happens when a muscle gets weak? It doesn't function as well. And if that muscle is responsible for you breathing, which puts air into your body for your voice to ride to get out of your mouth, if that muscle gets weak, what happens? You get weak air. If you have weak air, you have a weaker voice, meaning that you will not be heard no matter how hard you try. But you can train this muscle to become stronger and to be able to push air out with no problem. And you direct it and you have that airflow to speak as loud as you possibly would like. In order for you to do this, all you got to do is breathe with your diaphragm. And by that, I mean hold your hand on your stomach and breathe out. But when you breathe out, make sure your shoulders and your chest doesn't go up. The only thing that needs to move is your stomach pushing out. Do it a couple of times to make sure you're doing it right. Breathe in, breathe out. Make sure only your stomach's going out. And after that, I want you to breathe in all the way until your stomach is as far as it can go. And hold that pose for 5 seconds. It might feel tight, it might feel like a muscle being worked, but that's what's going on. You're working out that diaphragmatic muscle right there. And it's probably something you don't use as much, but once you get used to using it, you're gonna feel louder. So if you were to do this 3 to 4 to 5 times, 5 seconds each time, you're gonna see the difference in your voice because you will be able to push out all of that air with no problem at all. Versus shallow breathing where it's hardly any air coming out and your voice sounds kind of airy or soft or anything along that nature. But if you like to make that a part of your normal everyday routine, you can do it in the morning, night, noon, whenever you like to, because it's literally with you all the time. You can get a book and put it on your stomach, lay down. Well, that order's kind of wrong, but lay down, put the book on your stomach and breathe in and out, and same thing applies. Once you get used to it, you'll notice the difference in your voice and you'll be able to be like, wow, I'm loud, I can hear. Everybody can hear me. I got the fullness behind my voice now, man. I should have watched Ryan's video a long time ago, but I didn't. But that's okay, that's what I'm here for. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe and turn the notification bell on and check out the next video over here. Thank you for watching, you have a great day.